Okay, so just gonna do a quick countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright guys, so this is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, All Dungeons Speedrun. There's quite a few things to say about this one. First of all, this is a tough run. There might be some stuffs that gonna require a few tries. But it's a great run and it's a great game, a great speed game for sure. There has been a lot of discussions towards this category lately in the OT community, the Ocarina of Time community, because there's a group of people that wanted to change the rules so that this category doesn't require Ganon anymore to beat the actual Ganon, because there are two ways of beating the game. One is defeating Ganon, and the other one is doing a glitch called ROM warp that, if done correctly, can put you into the credits without ever having to defeat Ganon. So there are some people that wanted to not require Ganon anymore for this category, and there was some people that wanted to keep Ganon. And finally it was decided to remove Ganon because there's another category in this game called MST, which stands for Medallions, Stones, and Trials. And the category was very similar to All Dungeons, or better said, All Dungeons was very similar to MST. Because of new glitches and stuff that was found, the routes eventually became essentially the same, and people were kind of disliking this, so that's why they decided to not require Ganon, or that's why people that didn't want Ganon voted for not requiring Ganon, because that actually changes the route and makes it very distinct from MST. So the main difference between MST and All Dungeons now is that All Dungeons doesn't require you to do the trials in Ganon's castle, which are some like mini dungeon stuff, and it doesn't require you to beat Ganon to reach the credits in the end of the game. MST still requires to beat Ganon. And another very important difference is that there's a glitch called RBA, which allows you to do inventory manipulation. That one's allowed here, but it's not allowed in MST because it's a major glitch, and it's a pretty big difference. I know it all sounds kind of confusing, but that's the best way I can word it right now. Okay. So after all that stuff, let's get started with the run. You might notice I'm gonna be walking backwards a lot, and that's because it is faster than walking forwards. I know that sounds like really silly, but that's the way it goes. Whoa, don't grab the rock, Link. Okay. So yeah, walking backwards is faster for longer distances, and if it's a short distance, what you can do is just roll forward. But you kind of never want to just walk normally, except in certain situations in which it is kind of pointless to roll, where it's very difficult to roll without bonking into the wall. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the first trick of this run, which is the forest escape. But we're gonna be doing it in a special manner. You might have seen some methods of doing this, like the aquascape or the pokescape. We're gonna be doing something different that is really cool. You can mess up the run here though, so that's why I'm gonna save. Alright, so to understand what's happening, I recommend watching the minimap at the bottom right corner of the screen, because the camera is just gonna be stuck there for the rest of the trick. Alright, so what just happened was that by exiting the crawl space, so every time you exit the crawl space in this game, the camera stays fixed for a few seconds, and weird things can be done with that fixed camera. So if you talk to the sign while the camera is in that state, you can trigger a glitch that basically allows you to walk past certain actors, like NPCs. For example, the guy that was blocking me from escaping the forest. The downside to it is that the camera stays fixed and you cannot see what you're doing, except if you use your minimap, you can sort of see where you are. And that's what I used to escape the forest. So the only things you need to perform that glitch is Deconuts, because that actually allows you to gain control of Link during the text boxes. It does look like time stop, but it's not time stop. It's actually a different glitch. Time stop also exists in Ocarina of Time, but it doesn't actually stop timers. We're gonna be talking about that later, but it's still useful for some things. Yeah, it's a different glitch from time stop. It does look a little bit like it though, because of the camera, I guess. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get a bottle, because the bottle is a really glitchy item and is really important. Also, if you're wondering why I escaped through that part of the forest, I wanted to get Ocarina, because Ocarina is a fast item to have. I didn't get it in the most optimal way, but I'm just doing marathon strats right now. But yeah, Ocarina is the fastest route if done with optimal strats. Because there's another method of escaping the forest, which involves going to the Lost Woods and exiting through the Source River. But we don't want to do that in this run. At least not now. Alright, so to get the bottle, we have to complete this this task, which is collecting all the Cuccos here in Kakariko Village. I'm running on N64, by the way. I didn't explain this. It's a Japanese N64. And I'm also running on the 1.0 version of the game, which was the very first release of the game. And that's because it has a couple glitches that are exclusive to the 1.0 version that I'm gonna be using in this route. Yeah, the fastest method of getting the forest escape in this category is doing a Wesp, which is a weird glitch that I'm going to be explaining later, that allows you to gain a lot of speed backwards and just move really fast in general by doing a slide backwards. The other Cuckold is behind the well. That's kind of stupid, but well. Okay. and then clipping into the NPC and getting the Ocarina. That's the fastest method, but it's also one of the hardest tricks in the game, I should say. It's probably not that hard, but it's really tricky and it's not good for a marathon because every time you fail, you have to buy a new stick, a new Deku stick, so it's really risky. Alright, so now that we have the bottle, we want to get explosives, and I'm going to use this glitch called a Navi Dive to enter the well early. Basically, you're diving while the Navi's talking to you, so the game doesn't detect that you are falling through the water. Uh-oh, that's bad. Oh no! Damn. Okay, so rip. Let me see if I can come up with a backup here. Yeah, the problem with getting hit here is that this Skulltula will always block you no matter what. This actually looks closer to. Okay. So what we have to do now is basically repeat the process, I think. Yes. This is actually a very, very weird fail. It has never happened to me in a run, so I'm kind of unsure about what to do. But we'll think about it. Okay. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to save we're back to Kokiri Forest. And basically, I can't think of anything better than just repeating the whole thing. It's gonna be faster now, because I don't have to get the bottle again. I could even go through Source River. Might be faster. So I don't have to do the same escape again. So with this game, I'm actually a very dedicated bingo player of this game, if you know what bingo is. So in bingo, we always have to come up with strats to go around problems that we have. So I'm pretty confident we'll make it out of this one. Just need to. I also want to buy more Deku sticks. That would be good. I mean Deku nuts, and I have enough money to buy Deku nuts. What am I doing? Okay. Okay, since we already have the Ocarina, we're gonna go through the Lost Woods, and we're gonna escape in a different manner. We're gonna have to wait a little bit for time of day to pass, cause we actually no. Oh, we're gonna have to do it, but after Kakariko. Okay. So yeah, you can only enter the castle at day, but that's not what we want to do. No, we're fine. We're fine. Right now, my mind is doing like all sorts of calculations. But we're fine. We should be fine. Okay. Okay, so this is Aquascape. This is another method of escaping the forest. Yeah, we're taking the scenic route, dude. That's fine. And we're gonna head back to Kakariko. Luckily, we already have the bottle, because you cannot get the bottle at day or during daytime, because there are no kakas in the village. So yeah, we should be able to continue from where we left off before breaking the stick. So what I was trying to do in the well when I broke the stick was a glitch called blank A, which allows you to get bomb chews really fast. And it is exclusive to the 1.0 version of this game. So it can only be done in N64 for speedruns. It's basically trying to enter the crawl space, but canceling the crawl space with a deconut. So that puts Link into a weird state in which he's able to clip through certain walls and to have low gravity. And that allows us to clip into the basement, into the unloaded basement of bottom of the well, and then swim into invisible water to reach the bomb chew chest. Sounds crazy, but that's the actual way it works. So there I have to wait for Nabi to appear to get the text. And seems like I never do this, but let's just save, just in case, right? Okay. So this is the way it's supposed to look. Right, so this is the unloaded basement, and we are swimming into invisible water. When certain rooms are unloaded, that doesn't mean that nothing inside the rooms is loading. That only means that the textures are not there. The actual walls are still there, and other things like lava or water are still there, even though you cannot see them because the textures are not there. So that's pretty fortunate because we can use that invisible water to clip through one of the walls that lead to the bomb chew chest, because we cannot access that bomb chew chest normally except if you already have explosives. But the whole point of the trick is to get explosives early, so we have to do that. Right, so here I'm just getting shields, because it's a good place to get shields. And let's do some equips. You might have noticed that I didn't grab the sword at all, and that's actually a very important part of this route. The bomb chew trick I just did to get explosives doesn't work if you have a sword equipped. So it's not convenient to get the sword. It's not convenient to get the sword when we start the run, and then it becomes annoying having to get the sword later on. So this route's made so that you can skip it completely, the sword as child. Okay. So we're gonna head to the first dungeon of the run. Dungeon is defined by a place that has a blue warp at the end. So places like Ice Cavern, Bottom of the Well, and Garuda Training Grounds are not dungeons for the sake of this category. So we don't need to beat them. You can't really beat them because they have no blue warp. And to beat a dungeon, you have to step on the blue warps, and then receive the reward that the blue warp will normally give you. Okay, so another Aquas Cube. That trick is easy, but it's frame perfect, so if you are distracted or something, you can fail it. And here we're gonna do a mega side hop. To reach the Sora's domain, because normally you would have to play Zelda's Lullaby to open the waterfall, I should say, and Oh, here we can do another mega side hop like this. Yeah, so to open it normally you have to have TLoZ lullaby, but we don't have it, so we need some way to skip it. And those mega side hops are really simple. You're just using the recoil of explosion to get really big jumps backwards and to reach places you wouldn't normally be able to reach. Okay. So this trick here is called ledge cancel. And it's basically shielding damage on a certain frame when Link's in the climbing up animation. And that causes this weird camera state and the ability to go through certain things like NPCs, for example. So I was able to skip King Sora there and skip the whole Rudo's Ladder quest or whatever that is. And now to enter Jabu, we're not going to be using the fish. We're just going to be using a recoil from this wall here. I have broken Deku Stick, so that's very good, because there's no way I can lose the stick unless I enter the water. And that just happened. RIP. Okay, so there's a backup strat that I don't like using because it's kind of dumb. But we have to use it because we need the stick to complete the dungeon. So we're in trouble if we don't get it. That looks like it could work. Nice. Okay, good backup strat. The Fat King. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see the question about RBA or inventory manipulation. Yeah, that is not allowed. That is not allowed in this category. As I said. Okay, so here's the thing. This might be a little bit confusing, but that's the way it goes. You're allowed to do item manipulation in this category, so you are free to RBA the medallions and stones to your inventory. But that doesn't help because the definition of all dungeons is stepping on all the blue warps in the game. So getting the medallion or stone is not the same as stepping into the blue warp. So you will have to do it anyway, so it doesn't help. Yeah, what I was trying to do first was getting recoil from the wall, and when you get the recoil from the jump slash, you can barely clip into the Jabu Jabu's mouth and reach the loading zone that lets you enter the inside of the dungeon. So that way you don't have to watch the cutscene of Jabu Jabu opening his mouth, and you don't waste your fish because you actually want to use the fish for something else later. But since it failed, the other backup strat is to jump on top of Jabu Jabu, and there's also a little spot in which you can reach the loading zone barely. So that is the backup strat. To keep your stick, which you need, because it's the only way you have of damaging enemies, because we don't have the sword. Alright, so this dungeon is a little bit annoying because you can actually skip to the the boss fight from the very beginning of the dungeon, but the boss requires you to have boomerang. You cannot defeat it without boomerang, so the whole thing we are doing right now is just to get boomerang. Okay, so here I have to get a glitch called Infinite Sword Glitch, which is interrupting your crouch stab with a text box. That causes the game to think you are swinging the sword like forever. So you enter this state in which Link is dealing damage with his sword or stick or whatever in all frames possible. And that's useful to kill enemies, but it also has some other important properties, like you cannot fall off ledges if you have the Infinite Sword Glitch active. ISG for short. We just call it ISG always. And that's actually how you hover in this game. But we're gonna be talking about that later. So here's another trick. See if I get it. Okay, nice. That trick is called Box Mega. It's basically a mega flip, but you do it with the box because it's easier. And you skip killing the big octo and doing a really big portion of the dungeon. And then the other trick I did to skip putting a box on top of that blue switch was simply rolling and opening the door before it closes. It's frame perfect, so it's kind of precise, but it's easy. And that's how you skip like near half of the dungeon. The chokes. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing ISG everywhere I need to kill enemies because I can't lose that stick. I can lose it at the end of this fight, so I can save myself one ISG. But for the rest, I need to hit Barnate with ISG 2 times. Wait. Okay. I lost ISG there. If you get hit, you lose it. So it's kind of important to not get hit. So I'm gonna have to get it again. The boss rooms are really laggy, so it can be hard because the timing is different to get the Infinite Sword Glitch. And it's a frame perfect, so it's really easy, but it can be tricky if your timing is messed up. And here in the final hit, I can just break the stick because I'm not gonna need it anymore. Get this heart container because it doesn't waste time and it's actually going to be useful later for Fire Temple. Alright, we did it. Even with all the problems, we enter. You can mash ISG, but it's really bad because you can miss early. So yeah, people just time it, and it's not hard like Alec says. Also, I'm sorry if I'm like talking too fast because there's a lot of stuff to explain in this game. But during cutscenes, you can ask something, like some things you didn't understand. That's fine. Okay, so here, we're just gonna save warp. Puts us back to Link's house. And it's convenient because we would have to skip King Sora in reverse, and it's possible, but it's hard, and it's really slow, so it's better. So here we want to skip the forest again, but we have bomb juice now, so we can use this trick called ledge cancel, like I did to skip King Sora. And it's a lot easier. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Okay, got it. So this lets me walk through the NPC and skip the forest once more. So we're gonna head to the castle. I'm gonna try to do it fast with a glitch called Hess. So by using the explosion and holding a very precise position in the joystick, you can keep your momentum backwards, and that produces this weird looking slide backwards. And it's actually the fastest way to travel in the game. It's even faster than Epona, for example. So yeah, that's pretty good. Also, some people might be wondering why I'm not doing the Deku Tree or the Dungus Cavern right now. And the answer is it's faster to do them as adults. I know it sounds crazy if you guys are not familiar with Ocarina of Time speedruns, but it's actually faster to do it as adult. And that can be done as adult because there's a glitch that allows us to skip the Door of Time, as I'm going to show here. I don't have a sword, so this glitch is a little bit harder without a sword, but hopefully... Oh, I got it first try, so it's fine. Okay. So yeah, Door of Time skip is probably the most important glitch that has ever been discovered in Ocarina of Time, because it allows you to bypass half of the game, basically. Like, you can do this with... You only need a Deku Stick to reach the Temple of Time. And you don't need anything to do Door of Time skip, so... You can do this from a fresh file in a few minutes. So it's crazy. Crazy stuff happening. So yeah, the rest of the child dungeons are faster as an adult. And they are actually routed in a super cunning way in this route. The most interesting part is definitely the adult section. Has so much tricks. We are on 140 pace right now, so we're still fine with the estimate, even though I had to improvise a little bit, but that's fine. Like, I got to show the actual tricks, which was the idea. Okay. So, as you guys might be expecting, I'm not going to do the adult dungeons in the correct order or the intended order. It's gonna change a lot. Basically, the route pretends to get the most important items like hookshot and hover boots the earliest possible, and from there just start doing the dungeons that are in the way. Another important factor for constructing the routes is the wrong warp possibilities that you get at the end of each dungeon. Some of the dungeons, by doing a this glitch called run warp. You can both beat the dungeon and skip the medallion cutscene or the stone cutscene, and at the same time warp to a different useful place. So it's a pretty strong glitch in terms of speed running. So that's another thing to take into account for the routes in this game. The glitch for the globs, yeah, if you mean to get the black gauntlets or the special colored gauntlets, yeah. We actually do that a lot in bingo. It's pretty common. But that's not useful in this run, so fortunately we're not going to be seeing that. Yeah, it's a pretty cool glitch. Alright. The Master Sword cutscene is really long. Fortunately, it's the longest cutscene we're gonna have, so we don't have to worry about cutscenes too much later. I'm gonna save warp here because the door of time is still in the way, and right now I don't have any good way to skip it backwards. So the best strat is to save warp. That puts me on the other side of Temple of Time. Each time you save warp as an adult, you get in the overworld, of course, because in dungeons you get put at the start of the dungeon. But as an adult in the overworld, you go to Temple of Time after each save warp, and as a child, you go to your house in Kukui Forest. So that's another important mechanic to take into account. Okay, there's gonna be a confusing glitch happening in a few seconds. It's called RBA, and what it does is it allows you to put a bottle. Well, actually, that's not the RBA is item manipulation, right? So you can write certain items to your inventory, depending on what you have on the C write button. I'm not gonna be writing items in this speedrun, but I'm gonna be writing true amounts to my inventory. So I'm gonna give myself more bomb juice to work with. And to trigger RBA, you have to do another glitch called Bottle and B, which is this. If you notice, now I have a fish on my B button, which is super strange. So basically, you can trick the game into thinking that you catched something with your B button, and that triggers the inventory manipulation glitch. So here, when I drop the fish, I write a value of 20 to my bomb chew amount. Now I have 20 bomb chews to work with. And that's because the PO I happen to see right points to bomb chew amount. I know it's very confusing, but yeah, that's the way it works. So yeah, you can write ammo to your inventory depending on which items you use. Like PO is bomb chews, milk is bombs, for example. Rudo's letter is arrows. And you can also write actual songs and medallions to your inventory, but that's not going to be happening in this speedrun. So here, I'm gonna catch bugs on my B button, and that gives me 29 chews, because bugs is value 29 in the game. And that's one of my favorite things about this run, that you don't really have to worry that much about bomb and bomb chew amounts, because you have a lot of explosives to work with. So that's pretty good. I'm not really gonna be doing any more manips to the inventory. I'm just gonna equip my sword after getting the hookshot here, which is another very, very important item. Alright. So, I'm gonna be trying to show a fairly new glitch to get into Shadow Temple early. It's called hookshot jump, and it's very popular in Ocarina of Time 3D speedruns, but it was not discovered until a few weeks earlier by a guy called Rosewater. So shoutouts to him, because it's a very cool glitch. Also, here it's a good idea to drink the pose, since we're gonna be using the bottle for something else. We want it to be empty. Alright. So here's the glitch. See if I can get it. So here I have to wait until the third animation. Aw, damn. Okay. It didn't work, but I can probably try it again. I'm gonna try to pause to the correct frame, because it's 2 frames, but if you mess up the setup, it becomes 1 frame. There. Okay. So what happens is that if in this game, when you interrupt the hookshot animation right as the hookshot grapples something, you get sent pretty high up. There are ways to get more height, but with the regular hookshot jump, like the one I did, you get the very low height, but in this case it's enough to reach the seam. And there's actually a staircase here. I'm gonna try to turn around so you guys can see it. That staircase, in the middle of that staircase, there is a trigger that loads the door that covers the Shadow Temple entrance, but since you jump over the trigger, you never load the door, but the loading zone to Shadow Temple is still there, so you can just enter. And you don't need to do anything else. Okay, so here, I need to get a couple hearts because I'm gonna be doing a trick that requires a lot of health. But first, we need to get the hover boots. Okay. There's one cycle you can do that enemy on Death Hand. I got it without trouble this time. Right, so up next is the hardest trick in the run. That's called boat skip. Gonna explain it after doing it because it's kind of hard to. I need to focus a lot to do this one. So wish me luck. It's gonna be really confusing, but I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna be. I'm gonna take you by surprise with what's gonna happen. Okay, that's the first part. It's the easy one. Easy part. So, believe it or not, I am right now. I am in the pre-boss room of Shadow Temple. It's just that all the textures are unloaded. And now I am in front of the boss door, but I don't have the boss key, so I need to skip it. There we go. First try, that's always good. Okay, so what happens is that you do a glitch called entrance point glitch. So you open the door, or a sliding door, but you don't step far away enough from it so that the game doesn't close the door. And you can move around if you're close to the door and save the coordinates you want to clip once you void out. Hold on, I need to pay attention here. Okay. So yeah, you save some weird coordinates. So once you void out, after you clip and you void out, the game puts you back more or less at the door. Or it's okay, this could be bad because I targeted Bungo. That's fine. So you're able to control Link while he's out of bounds for a short while because he has the hover boots on. You're able to side hop and reach the pre-boss room and skip pretty much the whole temple. Okay, so here there's a really fast Shadow Medallion cutscene skip, but I'm not gonna do it because I messed up the fight. The fight needs to be... You need to do a bongo manipulation thing to get the correct position, so I'm just gonna do a backup strat, but I'm still gonna skip the cutscene. Hopefully. Alright, so the idea is to activate the blue warp, but use a glitch Ocarina, called Ocarina items to be able to take control of Link after activating the blue warp. So that way I can use a setup to die on the same frame the blue warp would take me to the cutscene, and that causes the game to give me the Shadow Medallion, but it doesn't play the cutscene. I just get spawned at the beginning of the temple. But I will actually have the Shadow Medallion. If it goes well, of course. The bottle there is invisible because I don't have a good explanation for that, but it is invisible. Okay, so I now have the Shadow Medallion, but I didn't have to do I didn't have to watch the cutscene. I'm actually going to show you guys the Shadow Medallion. Here it is. So yeah, the bottle is invisible because it has something to do with a weird property in that boss room, but it's just a graphic glitch. The bottle's actually there and doesn't do anything. Like just invisible, but it doesn't do anything. Okay. You're supposed to not die. Dying is the way to go in this game. There's a lot of dying here and there. Okay, so I'm gonna buy a fairy because I'm scared. The fairy is necessary to do a glitch. So I'm gonna be seeing that in a short while. Yeah, all the glitches that you see in a route like this, they have been studied and worked around by the community for over 10 years now. So yeah, it's a community effort. It's not really a single person that's finding all this stuff. And some glitches are found by accident, actually. It used to happen a lot more in the past, because people just kind of messed around with stuff and sometimes found glitches by mistake. Nowadays, there are people who are specifically like glitch hunting. For example, Skater might be the most famous Ocarina glitch hunter of nowadays. But yeah, it's a community effort, so it's a lot more complex than it seems. And yeah, what Math Guy is saying is very true. Hold on, let me do this. This trick is called Jump Jump. Ah. I got the bad frames here. Okay, got it anyways. So this is the same principle as a hookshot jump. You interrupt the hookshot animation by dying, and that sends you really high up. And this bridge here in the Dungeon's Cavern is not solid from underneath. So you cannot just go through it and then land on top of the bridge. And the fairy is so that you can keep playing after dying, of course. So yeah, what Math Guy was saying is true. Sometimes, so there are people in the community that are dedicated to finding glitches, but after they find a glitch and they prove it's possible, there's another group of people that try to make setups to actually do the glitch on a speedrun, an actual speedrun. Because sometimes it can be impossible to do certain things at first glance. For example, boat skip. Boat skip was, when it was found, it was thought to be too difficult to do in a speedrun, but people worked together and found a setup that was possible to do in a speedrun. That's what we use nowadays. Okay, so this is a ground clip. It's just using a mega side hop to clip there. And avoid having to talk to the board. Oh shit. Come on, Link. Yeah, that setup I used to navigate the pre-boss room is from my own inspiration, because I hate falling there. And it's super safe. Okay, here's another trick called Bolero cutscene skip. I'm gonna try to do it deathless. It's harder, but it saves a good amount of seconds. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, I got it. So the idea is to activate the cutscene while you grab the ledge or the edge of the bridge, and then press A to fall while the cutscene is playing. That causes you to void, but the game still gives you the song, because you actually get the song when the cutscene starts, not during the actual cutscene. The old Bosky skip, yeah. Crazy stuff. Alright. So I want to get both warp songs here, the Bolero and the Minuet of Forest, because they're gonna allow me to return to these temples pretty fast, and I actually need to do that later. So here, we do a ground jump, which is, in this game, for some reason, when you, I didn't equip Ocarina? Okay. This game, for some reason, when you, try to pick up a bomb, but, or something, and shield damage, that causes you to get to store a jump, hence the glitch is called ground jump. So the next time you try to side hop or backflip, Link will do a weird jump instead. And you can reach places you wouldn't normally be able to that way. This is called the Minuet of Forest cutscene skip in the deathless version. So I hit the trigger of the song from really far away out of bounds. And that gives me the song because the cutscene starts, but then voids me to the entrance of Sacred Forest Meadow, so I don't have to watch the cutscene. Here, it's better to take a little bit of damage. Ugh. Okay. Just gonna damage buffer to take more damage. Doesn't really matter. I can also get damage from this Skulltula. Pretty easy. Just like that. And do the setup again. So I'm gonna try to enter Decatry as adult. I'm gonna use the hover boost for that. I have a really strange camera, but hopefully it works. No, that's I buffered 1 frame too much, but it's fine, because we can probably get hearts here. I'm being careful because I don't want to pick up too much hearts, but there were no hearts. Thank you, game. There are hearts here. Let's try again. So this, I'm pausing, this is called pause buffering, so for tricks that are difficult, or that, for tricks that you need to equip something on a certain frame, you can pause buffer, and that can help you find the correct frame to do some kind of input, or something like that, that you need to do to complete the tricks. Yeah. Yeah, Ocarina of Time speedruns are crazy because they're full of glitches. It's incredible how many glitches are in this game. So I'm trying to explain everything, but super fast. Okay, so that allowed me to enter Decatry as an adult because this works very similar to the graveyard. Kukri Forest has basically 2 zones. The main area and the Decatry area. So if you bypass the trigger, which I did by walking on the seams, the Decatry doesn't load, but the loading zone that takes you to the inside of the Decatry is still there, so you can reach it as adult. Yes, my equips. Oh no, wait. Oh my god, that was incredible. Did you guys see that? I died while doing a mega flip. That was amazing. What? I've never seen that in my life. Okay, that was worth the death. So I got distracted there and I didn't equip the boots properly. But that's fine because we can just try this again. Doesn't matter. Alright. So, let's do this again. Okay, this trick is called 2-3-1 skip, making reference to the scrubs in the basement because you skip them. And basically, it's a ground clip after doing a mega flip, and then you, with hover boots, you kind of maneuver Link out of bounds so that at the moment you do the backflip, he's correctly lined up to reach the boss loading zone. Okay, so we want to kill Goma. That's a very good question, Math. You'll see in a moment why Deca Saddle is faster. You're about to see. There's gonna be a cutscene skip, definitely, but that's not gonna be everything. So I'm not gonna spoil it, because it's a pretty cool trick. Hopefully I'll get it first try. Let me do the setup. Okay, that looks fine to me. Pause buffering super hard again. Okay. And surprise, we are in the Dungus Cavern. So yeah, that's what we call a ROM warp. So basically what's happening is, I'm gonna explain this in a very simple way. It's actually more complicated than this, but it's a good way to understand it. Let me get this. Ugh. Crap. Okay. Backups. Nice. Okay, so basically what you are doing is combining two loading events that happen at the same time in the game. You're activating the blue warp, but gaining control of Link again by doing the Ocarina items glitch. So you're able to do this setup to die in this very same frame that the blue warp would take you to the Deca cutscene. So the result of the loading event of dying that would put you at the beginning of the dungeon, and the loading event of the blue warp taking you to the cutscene results in a ROM warp, which in this case goes to happens to go to the Dungus Cavern. And we are actually going to be doing the same here with this warp. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so we got that. The buffers do that are being super hard today for some reason. That's fine. Better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so this run warp uses the same rules as the last one I did. It's just that the result of being taken to the Orange Ruby cutscene plus dying is Garuda training grounds for like whatever random reason. So I get to access the desert area, cutscene skip, and beat the Dungus Cavern all in one trick. So that's why it's super OP run warp for RTA speedruns. And this trick is called gate skip. Yeah, that's exactly the reason why you do it as adult, because you can take advantage of the run warps better. All the run warps I've done so far are possible as child. They are just less effective because you're not able to do a lot of stuff after you do the run warps. Also, as adult, you can skip basically everything in Dungus Cavern because you have hookshot and you can do the doom jump. I did. And as child, you actually have to do more things in the dungeon. You can skip things as well. I can't see anything. Okay. But you have to do more things as child. Just one of the reasons. There are actually several reasons, but... Okay, so here I obviously don't have magic or Lance of Truth, so I cannot use the Poe to navigate the wasteland, but you don't need the Poe, you just have to know what you're doing, and you can make it to the Desert Colossus. It's really easy to get lost though, because sometimes you can't see anything when it's night, and the sandstorm is like terrible, so it can be tough sometimes to see what you're doing. This is Super Slide. It's very similar to Hess, same speed, but you're gonna change your angle, but that's fine because we need to go in straight line. Okay, so here's another sort of hard trick. It's called Spirit Hover, and it allows to skip a big portion of Spirit Temple. Hopefully we'll get it. Nice eaten input. Okay. So, I was one hover away from getting that, but I don't know why I didn't pull out the chew on the last one. But we have another try, basically, because we have so much explosives in this category that we have another try. Oh shit. The hover boots, I need to take them off. Alright, second try. We have to pray this works, because if it doesn't work, we're gonna have to do some stupid backup. Okay, that should be enough. The trolls, dude. Okay, so you're supposed to land on the seam there, but if you land too much to the right, like I did, you're not actually on the seam, so there's a slippery slope. And yeah, it sucks because you just fall and you waste all your explosives. And in this category is very dangerous because you can't actually just go through the spirit temple normally because you don't have the Zelda's lullaby. So yeah, you are forced to do the spirit tower basically. So I was forced to start over. Well, I could have farmed bombs, but sometimes it is slower to farm bombs. Okay, so we need to take damage here to ROM warp. Good. Okay, I wasted one bomb too much. Okay. So, as you can see in this game, you need to know all the backups because anything can happen, and it's pretty rough if you don't know a backup. Okay, 1, 2. God damn it. Okay. So I think something's up with the setup there. Alright. No, bad RNG. God damn it. Alright, gonna try once more. No, you can't go through Spirit Temple normally because you don't have a Zelda's Lullaby. And this doesn't look well. So the setup, for setup you have to be able to see the bomb because otherwise it's impossible. Alright. Oh my god, dude. Okay, setup's failing, so we're gonna have to try another thing. This is also a very huge mistake with for my part, because I was intending to save inside Gerudo Training Grounds, but I didn't. So we could have started over from Gerudo Training Grounds, but yeah, I just forgot to save because I was explaining the trick, so that kind of messed me up. Okay, we're gonna try another setup. So hopefully this will work. If not, well, it's pretty much dead right now. Hello? Wow. Okay. Actually, no. Because it's probably not going to work, so... Yeah. Unfortunately, looks like this run is not going to be able to finish. But I'm gonna try to get as far as I can, like until we hit the 150. So, well, just to show like most of the run, like we're gonna be missing the last part, but well, I guess that's how it goes. This is a hard run, like oh, my PB is actually 134. I got 134 2 days ago when I was practicing. But I got kind of a little bit unfortunate in this one. We were pretty good until the sprint hover thing. Two very unfortunate things happened. One after another. First, the fake input, which can happen if you're doing the hovers too fast. And the second was just landing on the incorrect spot, which I'm not sure why that happened. Okay. So, well, I'll let you guys know that that run warp would have taken me to the desert, right? So the route goes on from there. So now I'm gonna have to go to the desert and like the way we do in other categories, which is just super sliding. Yeah, it looks pretty bad right now because not only we are super behind, but we also don't have enough explosives. We kind of have enough explosives, but we're gonna have to start using chews. That's not good. So that's another way to do a Hess. You don't really need to explode the bomb chew into anything. You can just lay it down and go. But sometimes it's faster to explode it into something, because otherwise you have to wait until the explosion happens. I can RBA back at 29 choose, but I don't really need it, and it would be slow. Whoa. Yeah, okay, so here we're trying to do a mega side hop into a hover boots equip. Like this. So that way we can cross the bridge. And we just do the backwalk of shame. Get 32 water keys, yeah. That could do. Okay, so this is similar to what I should have done earlier. Basically save, obviously not here, but basically save inside the Gorilla Training Grounds. And yeah, so in case of a failed Spirit Hopper, I could have just reset to this point. It would have been kind of bad still, because to be honest, in this category, failing Spirit Hopper is a run killer. So it wastes so much time that it's not acceptable. And unfortunately, it's the only way to get past the Spirit Temple. There's also another trick called hookshot jump, but it's kind of difficult to do as well. So, okay, second gate skip. It's funny that we actually entered the wasteland at probably the same time if they had the first time, even though we did completely different things. Alright, so pretty sure I'm going to get it this time, because probably going to be more careful without thinking about it. It's easy to forget how punishing this category is, because there's so much explosives, but at the same time you don't have some items that you have in other categories. Like Zelda's Lullaby is the most important example. With Zelda's Lullaby you can go through its Spirit Temple normally, even if you fail the hover. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it looks. Now we need to super slide across this gap. Ah, damn. Nice side hop. I think I might be having controller problems, because there are some weird things happening. Most definitely. Okay. Alright. So yeah, that's how you get the mirror shield from outside the temple. With like 10 minutes of delay, but we got it. Alright. Okay, so the Spirit Temple is a lot shorter after doing Spirit Harbor. So I have to get one key, and in this category we are forced to do a hard trick called Spirit Temple boss key skip. Whoa. Because to get the boss key the usual way, you have to play Zelda's Lullaby to access the room. But we don't have the song, so we have to skip it no matter what we do. So we also have to take damage here. This is also a good place to refill on bombs, because we are pretty low on bombs. So there's a chest here that we can use. Okay. This heart is on the way, that's kind of bad. Okay, it's gonna disappear. So first we get a ledge clip to go out of bounds. Alright. How we line up roughly. We look for the frames. That looks weird. Yep. Okay. So the bad part about that is that if you fail, you have to adjust your health and you lose a bunch of bumps. So it's always rough to fail that. At least I didn't fall to the basement, because that's the worst thing that can happen. Okay, so I got a different frame this time, so I have to do an adjustment. Whoa. Okay. Oh my god, dude. So hard. Yeah, right now I'm probably just getting a little bit too how should I say, on the train of getting wrecked. You know what I mean. If you guys speedrun, you know what I mean when I say that. So I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. So I had pretty good practice. I even PB'd 2 days ago, like I said. So it's kind of rough taking this right now. But well, there are days like that, I guess. Not even sure why this is failing, to be honest. It's usually not this bad. This is going to work. I can tell when it's going to work and when it's not going to work, so... The other attempts were kind of just attempts to not waste the bombs, but... Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it might be a better idea to move on. If it's possible. If it's not possible, I can keep running. It doesn't matter. You call the shots. What do you see? Okay. Yeah, you can comment to the chat if you want already. To voice chat. Oh, after turn robot. Okay. Yeah, so there's a cutscene skip you can do here, but I don't have enough health to do it, so there's no way to do it. So Twin Rova is very different boss from the other ones because it has RNG, and you can have super fast fights or really slow ones depending on that RNG. It's not a hard boss, but yeah, the RNG can be terrible sometimes. Alright, so you kind of want to just try to see what they are going to do. And position yourself far away enough to have a good vision of what's happening. Then, when you see they are shotting at you, you can use a hook shot to make the other one stay in the place that she is. That makes it easier to hit. You have to hit him 4 times before to trigger the last phase of the fight. Oh, that was close. My hookshot got stuck, dude. What happened? Yeah, King. I'm basically gonna make a summary of what happened. So the run started. I had a bad feeling about this run when I broke the stick on bottom of the well without, like, it was at the very beginning. I didn't even have a chance to safety save, because that's one thing that has never happened before. So that was a very scary start. I was really feeling bad about it. And then yeah, the failed spirit hover was I failed the first time to an eaten input, and the second time to not landing on the scene, even though I got the hover itself both times pretty much. And after that, I also didn't save in GTG, so there wasn't a fast back to Spirit Temple. So yeah, unfortunately, it's better to move on right now. Oh, and I forgot to jump slide. Nice. Okay, hopefully we get 3 fireballs here. So I think just a cutscene skip and that's it, guys. Unfortunately. Yo. Damn it, dude.
that was unfortunate.
Yeah, dang. It was like a really bad day for me.
This game is just impossible.
Yeah, it has gotten harder in the last years. It used to be not as hard, but yeah, it's gotten harder.
Very understandable. Either way, though, I enjoyed the MikeKatz block.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, thank you for being here and doing your run. I had a good time. We had a $25 donation from a handsome jackass. Had to donate during my favorite game of all time. Good luck.
Oh, was he talking about this one?
I don't know. That was like 10 minutes into the run.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. And it's Mario's Sunshine. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna leave it there, guys. I'm sorry, but well, I did my best that I could today. I swear to God.
We'll have to submit it next time.
Yeah, damn. Okay, well, bye guys. Enjoy the rest of the marathon.